Hey everyone, this is Epic Pants with the Beginner's Guide to Legacy, a new Web3 NFT game, a crypto game released by Gala, 22 Cans, the developer, and it's a pretty fun game. There's a lot of questions and things that were discussed in Discord and just a lot of mistakes that were made early on. And so I decided to make this guide to hopefully help you find success in this game. It's pretty fun, but it's pretty easy to make some mistakes early on. So this will hopefully get you going in the right direction to actually have a good time in this game and maybe even make some money. All right, so I'm starting with this Gala launcher. This is what you download through the Gala website. And the reason why I bring this up is because there were some questions about this. For example, if this bugged out, if Legacy had a problem or whatever, and you had to uninstall, you would actually have to uninstall the Legacy game from like your control panel, but also this Gala launcher. You usually have to uninstall this as well, and then reinstall both, starting with the Legacy launcher from the website. But then the other thing is when you click install, you'll see that you'll be looking for the taskbar for a new icon to appear. That's the actual install is in a separate window, and you have to click on that and go through the installation. And then when you're done with that, then the launcher will change from install to play. I already have it installed here, so I'm just going to jump on running here. So let me start with the zoom. This is kind of a not necessarily intuitive thing, but very important for a lot of different reasons. Let me start so you can zoom in and see what your workers are doing this way. But if you zoom out, you run into this interesting thing where you see this new window. You have a town info, which tells you a bunch of stuff about your town, including your town business level. This is a number you'll want to keep an eye on. You also have some product info, which is kind of not that useful, but just information about what you've done. Assigned workers, you'll actually use that. Assigned workers, you'll actually use this one a lot. Let me actually go to that right now. When you go to assigned workers, you can see the different workers that are in each of the different buildings. And you can actually grab them. So I can grab this guy here. Is he there? Not too far. So assigned workers. Maybe he's not. He might be not there. Usually you can click on them. Yeah, there you go. This guy's here, and I can reassign them to a different spot. And now this guy, see the green disappears from here. It moves to here. So now two people are working in this spot. And so you'll want to be using that. That will be kind of like a big part of what you do, your consideration. Uh, the the worker count is always not enough for all the things that could be done out there. There's a lot more that could be that is available to be done. If you see all these spots, I have all these black spots out here that could potentially use a worker, and there's nobody there manning it. So you'll have to figure out what is the highest priority stuff for you, what is most important. For me, I kind of wanted to be hands off a little more, so I put all my workers stuff, like all the salon and all that kind of stuff, so that I don't have to be there when the worker needs that. One mistake I did make is I only put two guys to work in the research, and you start with two. But one of the things that you can do early on is in your missions, when you go to your missions, one of the things you'll see, these are all the different rewards for the missions, and you'll have a take one or take all side. So all the things that it shows on take all, you'll get all of those things, but on the take one area, you only get one of those things. So pick wisely. Very commonly, you'll want to go for this super upgrade worker capacity +2. You'll want to throw one of those on the research pretty early on, and that was a mistake that I actually made pretty early on, that I only have the two. I didn't throw any additional upgrades on that, and I would suggest going with four. Some people go six. Six is tough because you have to sacrifice a lot of workers on the other areas. I have NFT house. I have this Shakespeare house, which gives me +4 extra workers. And even with that, workers is, I have enough, but I could definitely use more. And so one of the things, if you throw more workers toward the research, you'll have less for other things. Four is, I probably should have changed this to before. You really do need that in the research. And let me talk about some of those researchers here. You'll see this business research. This is where you can actually unlock the bicycles, you can unlock the cakes, or if you chose cakes in the beginning, you can unlock the burgers. And then as you can see, I'm researching the jewelry right now. Oh, 8 more hours. This was a long upgrade, I think over a day. Anyways, if I had four people here, the time would have been cut in half, so it would have been much faster. I would have potentially had jewelry research faster and maybe been able to use it in competitions. And that's actually why I went for the jewelries, to see if I can do any better in the one of the competitions, which is how much money you can make in a certain amount of time. Anyways, so that's the research. Actually, let me get back here and do a few more things here. The building, the research is something you'll want to keep in mind. You have these different blocks that you can do to change your building's look. So the first one is this factory window burger block. It doesn't actually do anything as far as helping you do any faster or any better, but it does look cool. So I mean, yeah, it's available for you to use in your building. But these two pieces, the factory chimney burger and the factory roof burger, these two that actually give you a buff. Not only do they change the look of your building, they actually give you a buff. So this chimney burger gives you +4 item capacity in your factory. This one is +2 worker capacity in your factory. So that's cool. Very useful upgrades. And the same thing is available for the cake and the bicycle. And then let's see. So the other thing that's very probably useful is getting these 3 upgrades in whatever your thing is. If you went for cakes, I would assume the same thing for these 3. These actually have really useful things to help you make a lot more money with your craft, whatever happens to be. Especially this one that gives you some nice upgrades. The steak gives you some nice money here. So I would definitely consider these 3. I don't know about the others. I'm still not sure whether it's worth the gems. Probably will. This one gives you octopus tentacles and onions. I don't know. It seems rough. Cost an 8, 6. Maybe some of these other ones. I mean, it's interesting here. It tells you presentations, everything in the restaurant business. Plate up your burgers on this and see them sell for astronomical prices. So that's kind of, piques my curiosity. That might be something that really helps you make a lot of money with the burgers, but it's going to cost you 1,000 gems. Oof, that's kind of expensive. So, anyways, a lot of choices to make about how you want to, advance whatever craft you want to be your thing. So yeah, that's probably enough about research. Let's move on to roads and bridges and general layout. You kind of see as you unlock more areas, you'll have more ability to kind of reorganize things. Like I said here on the zoom out. Oh, did I? I don't think I even talked about this. So on the zoom out here, yeah, that's where you assign your workers. You can move your buildings here, show efficiency. I don't ever use those two actually. But when you zoom out even further, you actually see this territory area. This is where you can purchase additional territory. Your town centers, which you get for free, but additional territories around here you can purchase. And I highly recommend the first one you purchase is the dockside. And don't wait. As soon as you have the money to buy that dockside, buy it first, because that is such a huge help to a lot of different things, especially for competitions. You'll need the boat. The boat gives you the ability to deliver a lot of goods, but also you'll have the second truck, which the dispatch, which lets you deliver stuff. And I'm telling you, these competitions are tough. You're gonna have, people are just like you. They're gonna be trying to get at that first place because you're making money at that first place, real world money. And so you're doing your best there. And even with 3 trucks and a boat, it's tough to get into that first place spot. So don't expect the competitions to be easy. Um, but that dockside will be good. Here in the fluffy garden, you can have the silicate for paints and stuff. That's kind of nice upgrade for the design competitions. May be useful. You get also a warehouse by unlocking this. Oh, and this one I think gives you a second factory to the dockside. Gives you the boat, the second truck, and I think a factory, and maybe even one. Yeah, it's a big important upgrade. You should get it as fast as you can. Um, and then this one is the one that lets you do iron. Iron is not really that useful until you research bicycles, but that's there available for you whenever you get that far. And then this one is basically only useful for the workers, the 3 workers. Otherwise, I haven't used this area at all, but I did use the 3 workers you get from unlocking this area, and I think there might have been some other stuff there, factories and stuff. Anyways, yeah, so this is kind of how I organize my stuff. This is all my, oh, and I guess I should talk about this. This is your worker life persona thing. Your persona so in these houses, once you start playing, eventually you'll get letters that'll pop up from time to time, and they'll have stupid moral decisions like, hey, I was spying on my neighbor and I saw him, doing something stupid to his dog or something. And and you'll have a moral choice. Do you side with the guy that, saw this horrible dog behavior, or do you reprimand him for spying on his neighbor? And based on your choice, it gives you different persona things and blah blah blah. As you can see, apparently I'm not very empathetic. I don't have a lot of empathy for their crap, but I'm pretty good with honesty and principle. So I guess that's it. I don't know. It doesn't mean a whole lot right now. Maybe it does later. I don't know. Town has these four metrics. Contribution is useful, or is basically showing how much you're participating. So, for example, if I start, you can click on these buildings. You can either click and hold, or you can click a lot. I just click and hold. The longer you do that, it fills it up. But anyways, as you contribute, it shows your contribution if you're curious about that. Culture, decoration, and leisure come from these buildings. And all of these buildings pretty much come from missions. So as you do different missions, as you do different chains or branches of the missions, you'll get different types of building missions, or buildings, but more or less they impact your culture, decoration, and leisure. It's not, to me, it seems a little bit, it just happens. You don't really have a lot of control over it right now, I guess. I mean, you can choose the branch of the missions you go, so that does impact it that way. But anyways, that is what it is. And then life energy is based on how rested they are, how overworked they are. You can actually go to the factory, and have we go over there yet? No, let me hold off on that. Let me actually first talk about pausing for a second. When I say pause, it's a little bit probably the wrong word there, but I mean pause on the missions. So I've been looking at this mission card to unlock town wages for a couple of days now, actually, only because I wanted to stick around and do some research and practice some competitions before I move onto later stuff. Because as soon as you pick up this card, you're immediately having to start taking a part of your income that you're receiving from your sales and paying it to your workers. And so I decided that was a good time for me to pause and just kind of get a feel for all the different things. And if you are in that place where, hey, I'm not feeling very good about the competitions, there's still a big struggle, maybe find a good spot to just pause there and stop making progress with the missions and practice those competitions and get good at them, because later on they only get harder. The competitions are only going to be more difficult. So if you want to be good at this game and you want to be making money, that's where you got to be practicing, is being good at those competitions. So that basically is this whole bar here. um, so let's talk about the competitions. Let's do the sales competition first. So the sales competition is basically maximizing your maximizing how many different, or how many sales you do in 45 minutes, I think it is. So as soon as you get, if you get the most to the market in that time, then you get the first place or second or whatever. So there's different strategies for this. Let me talk about some of those strategies. Yeah, so one of those is to deal with the roads a little bit differently. So when you start your trucks, these trucks here, you have truck depots, they will run this route here. They'll go up this road, they'll go up this road, and then they'll go across this bridge, and then they have to backtrack a little bit to go underneath this tunnel. So they're actually, you're losing 3 spaces here to go up, another 3 spaces or 4 spaces to go down, or whatever, however many it is, where you could have saved some of this time by building this road across this island. And this placement is very finicky here, so you'll actually have to build around the bridge. You'll probably have to mess with the road to the point. This bridge is very finicky. You have to get it just the right spot. But once you do, then you can actually save that space, allowing your trucks to go a little bit faster. Oh, there you go. See, he's using this road instead of going up that one and this saves him all this a little extra drive time, which means he's a little bit more, getting more sales done in that same time. So you'll want to do the same thing. The other thing you want to do is um, move your factory, probably, and this is something I still need to do. You want to move your factory close to the dock, because one thing you'll be doing, so when you're here, when you Q and E is how you rotate your map around. But when you're doing a competition, you want to turn around to a position where you can kind of look at your dock over here, but you can also see the factories, because you'll be helping to produce your goods here. So look, for example, you can click and hold, and I'll be producing that. And basically at that point in the competitions, all I'm doing is working the factories, and my workers are running basically delivering stuff. And so if you move your factories closer to the dock, they have less to run, which means that they can do other things, deliver for the trucks and everything like that. Get your boat out of there faster, that kind of stuff. So you'll want to take that into account. The other thing you'll want to take into account is when you're designing your burger. So as you notice here, I have a red balloon here. Means that when you design a burger, each kind of design has a certain market appeal. So for example, if you look at this other factory that I have making burgers, I have 56 of this appeal in the market still available. So after this is done basically to zero, nobody else wants those burgers anymore. I have to change my design. So this guy ran out of his market appeal stuff, so I need to redesign. So when I click here, there's two different goals. So if you're competing, you'll want to go for the most simple design possible, taking only one space. So if you click on some of these different costs, you'll see that these different ingredients have different costs. It doesn't matter which, but when you're doing sales, you just want to pick one that's the most. Like for example, this is a great one. Maybe it has $5 and it's only one. Just drop it in. It's a good one. Maybe change it out with somebody like a burger here only has one cost, or maybe a cheese, or basically anything that has one cost. You'll want to do that for the competitions because you're trying to get as many out as fast as possible. But once the competition is over, that's really not the strategy anymore. You really want to be more going for a big burger that takes a long time to build but sells for a lot of money, so that you don't have to keep changing your design all the time. So for example, in this case, I can try to see if I can make something happen. Okay, this thing is worth 14. Oh, this is factory only has 14. So I have another factory that's 24. Let's just do a little more simple design. This is $9, and see, cost is only 2, so you have to take that into account. Only 2 cost, but it's actually giving me $9. So that's a good deal. Let's see. When you see some of these like have 0, 0, 2, for example, that's because I've used this ingredient so much. Basically, if you overuse it, the demand for that ingredient drops in the market, and it basically becomes worthless. So you have to just stop using it for a while, and the price will go back up to its original value. And you know what? This mushroom sounds good. Let's just drop that mushroom here. This bacon usually worth a lot, but it's worth basically nothing right now. Ooh, steak is worth normal value. Nice. Steak is worth 18. So I'm using 7 out of 14 right now. See, my factory storage, you start with 10, but those different upgrade blocks now give me 14. I think I did a research, like a card, and then one of the blocks that I researched gave me 14. So far my burger is only taking 7 out of the 14. I need to find a few more things. This is kind of not too awesome. This is a good value. This means you find 6 more things. Well, sure, this is kind of okay, I guess. I'm gonna do this. And I need to. I don't know why I'm taking so long with this decision. Let's see, this chicken is worthless when you have to. Let's just go for a couple patties. There you go. That's probably a good idea. Okay, so this burger is netting me 61. In my other factory that has a storage of 24, I can actually sometimes break $100 per burger. But now, if you see what this means, is that each burger is using all of the ingredients in the factory. So when it's made, boom, all of these are back to 0, and now all the workers have to fill it up with these different raw produce things that need to go in here before a new one is made. So the sales are slower, but each burger is worth way more, and that's kind of generally how you want to keep that when you're not competing. Okay, so the other competition is the most money. I still don't have a good strategy for that. I kind of went for jewelry only because I'm hopeful that might give me an edge in competing, but obviously I messed up on the research, guys, and it took me forever to research that, so maybe it's not going to be as useful as I thought. Anyways, we'll find out. But the last one, and I wanted to bring in my daughter for this one, actually. My daughter, Kate. We did the design competition, and it was just kind of, hey, let's try it. And we actually got first place. So she's here to walk us through our design that we did for that competition. Let's do it. Say hi to everybody, Kate.
Hi.
All right. So in here, we did, what did we start with?
We did bikes.
Bicycles, that's right. Okay, frames.
Blue frame.
Okay.
We did a dark blue.
Oh yeah, dark blue. Okay. Darker blue, I guess.
Yeah.
Navy blue. Okay.
We did like little like pickle and
Oh yeah, we went back to burgers. Let's see.
onion wheels.
This is alphabetical, just so you know. Burgers, okay? We did, what did we do? We did, oh, right here.
Pickle and onion wheels.
So I think we had to turn this in the front to make this work, right? Like this.
Yeah.
And then I put the pickles here.
We made them purple.
Oh yeah, we made the pickles purple.
Smash the onions.
You just click and drag the paint over the pieces that you want. And then the onions are here, right?
Yep, on the other wheel.
Right here.
Yeah.
Okay, and then what else was here?
We did like pumpkin on the like front part.
Oh yeah, it was on here, right? Oh, so silly.
I know.
And then I think we didn't we do fries or something?
Yeah, we did pink fries.
Oh, pink fries and pink pumpkin, I think it was.
Yeah.
Alright, so here and here. Oh yeah, I need to do both. So yeah, this design, I think it's like that, yeah. I think those are designed for the design contest, and somehow it won first place. That one is pretty much just based on luck, if people like your idea or not. So good luck, have fun. Maybe bring your kid in and see if they can help you create something fun and interesting, and hopefully you win some money.
Might win $10.
Right now, yeah. Okay, so let's see. The last thing I wanted to talk about is the guild stuff a little bit. So this is the guild building here, right here. And this is where I would show you what's in there, but it has like personal information and stuff, so I didn't want to necessarily do that. But this is where you communicate with your guild dude. So basically, as a guild, I'm a deed owner, which means I have an NFT for a legendary deed in Legacy, which gives me starting 25 keys. And as a free player, you would, if you don't have a deed, then you have to get one of these keys to play. There's a bunch of deed owners, so don't worry, there's plenty of keys out there. But the better, the more rare the deed of the key holder or of the deed holder, the more value that each keys have. So let me break that down just a little bit. If you have a common deed, or you're playing on a common deed, you're going to win whatever the winning is for that particular competition. So let's say it's 500 tickets. But if you have a more rare deed, they give you like an extra kick on top of that. So an uncommon or epic or rare, each increase that extra kick. And so as a legendary, I almost have the highest bonus to each competition's winnings, and that same thing applies to everybody who's a key holder in that land deed. And so if you're a good competitor, you're going to be wanting to go for the more rare keys because they give you the most value for your winnings. But you also want to look at your percentages that are being charged, so that each deed owner can decide how big their cut is. So take a look at those things. And that's also, you can send messages to your deed dudes. You can ask them maybe ideas or strategies or whatever. So usually at least I tend to be helpful with my guys. So that is the guild stuff.